That was beautiful, and it always kind of surprises me because I am moved every time I hear us lift our voices and sing that collectively together. And right back at you. I hear you, sis. Please be seated, everyone. The Clark Atlanta University Philharmonic Society, under the directorship of Ms. Garnetta Penn, is second to none. Let's give them another round of applause. The Fall Convocation is always the time to recognize the members of our Clark Atlanta family, and at the center of that family are our students. Not only do we want to recognize our students, but today we also want to recognize the individuals who are preparing them for the present and the future. As each group is called, please stand. Members of the Board of Trustees. Faculty. Woohoo! Staff. Alumni of the Atlanta University, Clark College, and Clark Atlanta University. And then our student groups, the Student Government Association Cabinet, Miss Clark Atlanta University and her Royal Court, Mr. Clark Atlanta University and his Royal Court, the Isabella Taylor Jenkins Honors Program students, the Google Scholar Academy students, student ambassadors, our student athletes, good luck to all of you this weekend, the class of 2024. Just around the corner, the class of 2025. The class of 2026. And the class of 2027. All right. Let's give everyone another warm, warm round of applause. We're so glad you all are here. We will now have greetings, and I am pleased to introduce Mr. Gregory B. Morrison, Chair of the Board of Trustees, followed by Ms. Shantae Norris, who serves as the National President of the Clark Atlanta University Alumni Association.
Good morning, Dr. French. I think all future events that where I'm attending, I think I need the cheerleaders and the band. That was very nice. My fellow trustees, President French, Provost Gilbert, Dr. Ritchie, welcome home, by the way, members of this dais, students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends of this great university. It is my pleasure to greet you on behalf of the Clark Atlanta University's Board of Trustees. Today is a day of celebration as we pause to celebrate yet another milestone. I am proud while reflecting on who Clark Atlanta University has become in these short 35 years. During this academic year, we will share stories of our accomplishments as well as learn from our mishaps. We are excited by our faculty as they continue to embrace and renew the curriculum for the 21st century. We are appreciative that our staff encourages progress in multiple ways with their support. The administration under President French and his cabinet constantly performs in a positive manner while seeking additional ways for us to thrive. Most important, we collectively do all of this for you, our outstanding students who are aspiring to higher levels of higher education. As trustees, we continue to exhibit the same passion that brought the Atlanta University and Clark College Board of Trustees to officially celebrate and consolidate this institution, Clark Atlanta University. I honor our parent institution's leadership that forged the way. Atlanta University, beginning in 1865, and Clark University, founding in 1869, predicted who we are today. Clark Atlanta University could only be the exemplar institution of higher learning that we are because of such a strong foundation. On this day, as we celebrate 35 years, let us continue celebrating our collective journey from our rich past while succeeding in the present and knowing that we will affirm our goals for the future.
Good morning. Greetings, Dr. French, trustees, platform guests, faculty, staff, esteemed alumni, friends, and students of Clark Atlanta University. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Clark Atlanta University National Alumni Association. I am Shantae Norris, a proud graduate of the Olympic class of 1996, and I serve as the association president. Whether you are class of 2024 or 2027, your journey at Clark Atlanta University will shape the rest of your life. As you embark on a new school year, a new journey, embrace every experience, every challenge, and every triumph with purpose. A purpose to change the world around you. As a scholar at Clark Atlanta University, you are standing on the shoulders of both the author and composer of the Negro National Anthem, civil rights activists, educators, Tuskegee Airmen, Time 100 Next List, Dr. Ritchie, and the list goes on and on. The wisdom, sacrifices, and contributions that our ancestors began in 1865 at Atlanta University, in 1869 at Clark College, Clark University, should inspire you today to continue a legacy of greatness. Over 200 years of excellence. 35 years ago in 1988, it simply highlights the collaboration, the resilience, and limitless potential of the collective journey. As you matriculate at Clark Atlanta University as a scholar, embrace your opportunity to be a part of the collective journey. Dream big, aim high, and find a way or make one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those greetings. In honor of our 35th anniversary, celebrating our collective journey, please rise for the reading of the litany. You may be seated for the musical selection. Dr. Miles.
Please stand as you're able. Our existence was predicted, and so this call awaits our response. At the opening of this academic year, we celebrate our past with excitement, embrace our present with determination, and prepare for our future with hopeful expectation. Clark Atlanta University, whose noble tricolor heralds the sway, has a rich, unique history that includes but is not limited to the 35 years that we now celebrate.
Give God thanks and praise and trust in knowing that with God all things are possible.
We take pride in our history that began in 1865 with the establishment of the Atlanta University, the nation's first institution to award graduate degrees to African Americans, and continued in 1869 with the establishment of Clark University, the nation's first four-year liberal arts college to serve a primarily African American student population, with a name change to Clark College in 1940. Since the ending of slavery, we have heeded the call. Throughout the days of Jim Crow, the Great Depression, the Civil Rights Movement, and the COVID-19 pandemic, we remain steadfast in our pursuit of truth, justice, and the right to declare our humanity as equal. Each time, we not only asked, where do we go from here, but we also answered with an imperative and paved the way forward with others in mind. Today, we continue to affirm our presence with action, trusting in our giftedness, our abilities, and our commitment to excellence. Forward we go. We shall be leaders who challenge social norms and heal disease while modeling forward and developing others to do the same. The lesson of Sankofa still teaches us. We look back to extract the gems of the past: collaboration and community building, faithfulness, courage in the midst of challenge, vision, resilience, moral character above reproach, and a sense of service to all mankind with a duty to lift as we climb. Our collective journey acknowledges the gifts that each person has brought, is bringing, and will bring to this sacred ground. We honor our cloud of witnesses who have shown us the way. It is on their shoulders that we stand. Because of their strength, we are encouraged. Because of their dreams, we are positioned to soar. Amen.
All right.
Jordan, one of these days. I'm going down to the river of Jordan. river of Jordan. I'm going down to the river of Jordan. One of these days.
Once again, just amazing. Let's give them another round of applause. We are so fortunate and blessed to have such talent in our campus. Before I move on, I want to do one more acknowledgement. Could the orientation students, leaders, please stand? I want to thank them for all their work today to help usher people in and keep us. We appreciate that very much. Our student leaders are key to the continuous development of this institution. Even in the midst of fulfilling their own educational aspirations as scholars, our student leaders have taken on these critical roles of service to our institution. Please join me in welcoming our student leaders, Mr. Lamine Seka, Undergraduate President, and Ms. Cameron Lawrence, Graduate President. Before presenting our beloved Clark Atlanta University President, Dr. George T. French, Jr., our Student Government Association presidents will first share their plans for a successful year for this year's student body.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, faculty, staff, parents, and most importantly, my fellow students, welcome to the 35th Fall Convocation of Clark Atlanta University. It is an honor to stand before you as your 35th undergraduate president. As we come together to celebrate our pursuit of academic excellence, we must also discuss the roadmap ahead. Parking has always been a notorious issue on our campus. To tackle this, we will be working closely with administration and local authorities to reevaluate and reorganize our existing parking structure, introducing innovative solutions such like a dedicated parking app to make this process smoother. Unity, the cornerstone of any community, is the last but certainly not least the aspect of my focus. We will actively work to foster a united campus environment. I want to launch a mentorship program that connects students with professionals in their respective fields for an invaluable hands-on experience. From creating and mentoring programs that build the gap between upper and lower classmen, to launching social campaigns and events, we will strive to bring everyone under the same umbrella of Panther faith. As we embark on this journey together, let's remember that unity begins with you and me. And speaking of unity, it is my pleasure of introducing someone who will be working closely with us to bring about these changes. Please join me in welcoming the 35th graduate president of Clark Atlanta University, Cameron Lawrence.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, respected alum, and most importantly, our vibrant student body. Good morning. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as the 35th graduate president and White House Scholar of Clark Atlanta University. On this sacred occasion of our 35th Fall Convocation, Clark Atlanta University is not just an institution, we are a family that nurtures intellect, cultivates character, and inspires positive transformation. As we celebrate 35 years consolidated in excellence through higher education, let us also renew our commitment to making our community stronger, more inclusive, and more innovating. This year, as graduate president, I have several initiatives aimed at fostering academic excellence, promoting student leadership, and evaluating student life. One of my foremost commitments is to maintain transparency in all matters concerning the student body. Open dialogues and town hall meetings will become a regular feature, allowing our voices to be heard and your concerns addressed. I'm also striving to enhance our mental health services, recognizing that well-being is a cornerstone of academic and personal success. Finally, I want to initiate a campus-wide scholarship challenge, encouraging students to seek outside financial resources to lower student loan debt ratio and increase scholarship and internship opportunities for Clark Atlanta. Thank you, and here's to a transformative year ahead. Now, it is my destiny and my duty, my honor, to introduce someone whose vision for Clark Atlanta aligns seemingly with the path that we are currently on. Someone whose leadership has taken this institution to unparalleled heights, and one who promises to take us even higher. Panther family, please join me in giving a warm welcome, heartfelt welcome to the 5th president of Clark Atlanta University, Dr. George T. French.
Thank you, Madam President. The President's remarks. Mr. Chairman, the President's remarks. At the Jordan River, John said, "There is one who's coming after me." Hence, I'm going to introduce him as the keynote speaker, and those would be my remarks. Our orator for this morning is media influencer extraordinaire. You've seen him on MSNBC, Fox News, CNBC, and other national media platforms debating issues that matter to us. He's the daily television opinion news anchor for Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, a nationally syndicated program through the TYT network, and recently ranked the fastest growing television news show in America with over 3 million viewers daily. The show's companion Facebook watch and YouTube pages have over 2.1 million followers and growing daily. He's America's youngest inductee into the National Black Radio Hall of Fame, and he was recently inducted into the very exclusive National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame, where trailblazers like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Justice Thurgood Marshall, Oprah Winfrey, and Ambassador Andrew Young are all honored recipients. He's a noted philanthropist, lecturer, and university professor. He often says, what I know, you know. Believing that education is not simply for knowledge, but she should be utilized to help transform communities. He completed doctoral research studies at Clark Atlanta University in higher education, federal policy reform, and earned a second PhD from the Business University of Costa Rica. You may review his complete bio, which is printed in your program. Colleagues, won't you please welcome my friend and a friend of Clark Atlanta University. We're honored to have him. Won't you welcome Dr. Rashad Ritchie.
Can we give a round of applause for the most effective university president in the United States of America, Dr. French? Thank you, dear brother. This brother gets the scholarship money, the resources for our black students. To the Board of Trustees, to the administrators, faculty, staff, to the parents who may be here. Most importantly, to the students. Now, we've been to church already. We done stood up about 7 times. We done sung some spiritual hymns, beautiful chorus. But there's one thing we haven't done. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. That's it, we've been to church all the way now. All the way. I can go to Bedside Baptist on Sunday. We're talking about celebrating our collective your. I'll find a way or make one. I'll find a way or make one. That means that you don't own the avenue. You don't own the methodology. You don't own the opportunity. I do. I will find a way or make one. What if I told you that we live inside of a system, a very spiritual system with physicality? This system rewards certain things like courage, passion, being intentional. Nothing actually happens to you, everything happens for you. It's about your perspective. This is the world that we live in. There's a power in Black genius that is so extreme and potent that the forces against Black genius can be extreme and potent as well. Can I get an amen? I'm the president of Rolling Out magazine. Some of you are familiar with Rolling Out. Rolling Out is the largest free print urban publication in the country. We have 2.8 million readers per month, over 600,000 combined social media followers. I was the chief editor before I became the president of Rolling Out, and I remember looking at some of our protocols for engagement, for connection to our urban culture. And this was during a time in media where people were confused about what journalism was or what it could be. We were having debates about advocacy journalism and activist journalism, and is it still journalism if there's an opinion? And I remember being involved in one of these debates where some of my panelists were telling me that in order for it to be journalism, it must be unbiased. I said, well, wait a minute. Now, according to the nightly news, because I work for CBS Atlanta, we have 2 minutes and 31 seconds to do a segment. And in that 2 minutes and 31 seconds to do a segment, the producer and the on-air journalist, they decide what part of the story is important for you. And what utilization or methodology do they employ in order to come to that conclusion? It is their personal bias. Bias has always been in the matrix of storytelling. And I said, for us at Rolling Out, we're going to embrace the bias of experience. We're going to embrace the bias of culture. And this was an opportunity to inspire some young, dedicated, gifted writers at Rolling Out. So I wrote a vision statement. I'm going to read that vision statement to you. This was for our writers and editors at Rolling Out magazine. And when we caught this vision, the publication took off in ways that we could not imagine. It was bigger than me. It was bigger than them. Black, brilliant, and bold requires vision to fully impact the culture and maximize opportunity. Rolling Out has a vision to empower diverse Black voices and enhance the collective chorus of urban genius. We understand this genius has been intentionally marginalized by design, which is why we write, create, and lead. This truly transcends entertainment alone and gives light to the untold stories that illuminate paths for those who journey with us in this paradigm known as community. We do this through the lens of our experiences, exposures, and environments, embracing our various cultural realities, not ignoring them. This allows complex stories to be told with both integrity and insight. It is our commitment to transform misleading cultural narratives and uplift values through information and illustration, while offering exit from the oppressive societal chains which seek to limit the boundless nature of Blackness. We are truth seekers. We are social influencers. We are storytellers. We are rolling out. Embrace what makes you different. Embrace the power of Black genius. You are at the Clark Atlanta University, which means we literally put the university in the Atlanta University system. When we look at the reality of our current state, our current country, and the divisions that permeate beyond the political, we think politics separates us. We were separated before politics even came. Politics is an expression of that internal separation that we never remedied through our actions and behavior and thought. Let's talk about the lens of Black culture, the system that we are in. The way we think is directly connected to what we experience. You cannot solve problems at the level of the problem. The way we think is connected directly to what we experience. We are a collection of those 3 E's. And I'm going to go somewhere with these 3 E's, but I want you to repeat them after me. We are our experiences, exposures, and environments. We are experiences, exposures, and environments. If we want to be higher than the level of the problem, we have to change our perspective of the problem. But we cannot change our perspective of the problem if we're not changing our experiences, our exposures, and our environment. That is what Clark Atlanta University does for us. I see my former dissertation chair, Dr. Okua. Let's give him a round of applause. It was tough being my dissertation chair. He taught me something about Black genius that I had not considered before. That instead of us all trying to become genius or become brilliant or become something, we already are. We're already there. I'm going to break this down even in a scientific notion. Theorist Mark Nick Morgan wrote in Forbes magazine about who we are socially. And he said, we are social beings sharing mirror neurons that allow us to match each other's emotional state unconsciously. Now, what does that mean? That means you don't have to verbalize anything to me. I can tell if you're hurting. You don't have to verbalize anything to me. I can tell that you're happy. I can connect with you on a level that goes beyond conversation. We're starting to lose that. We're starting to lose the ability to simply connect with humanity, looking at external factors rather than the internal reality that we have way more in common than we do not. There's a spiritual dynamic as well. In order to explain the spiritual connectedness of who we are, I'm going to go to physics. There's a concept, 2 of them. One is called the observer effect, and the other one's quantum entanglement. Well, let me explain. Quantum entanglement is actually a really dope scientific fact. You can take 2 subatomic particles, that just means smaller than an atom. You take 2 subatomic particles, spin them together, and they become entangled. That's simple. And then we can separate these 2 particles, and we can leave one on the campus of Clark Atlanta University and put the other one in, let's say, the state of New York. They're separated now. They have space in between them. But whatever we do to the particle on the campus of Clark, immediately is reflected in the particle that's in the state of New York. This is not a theory, ladies and gentlemen. This is a scientific fact. So the physicist said, let's see if somehow gravity has anything to do with what's happening that we cannot explain. And so they decided to spin particles together again, and they became entangled, the quantum entanglement dynamic at play, and they left one on Earth and took the other particle in space. And they changed the polarity of the one in space, and it immediately changed the polarity of the one on Earth. That is a scientific fact. The subatomic particles are not only around us, they are in us, and they are part of us. We operate in the same way. We think what happens in one locality happens in a vacuum and does not affect what's called the determination of the universe, meaning everything has a response regardless of time and distance. Everything is connected. Everything is here, is now. So that's one strange dynamic that seems very spiritual in interpretation, but it is science. There's another one called particle wave duality. When I was in school, we actually learned that the smallest thing basically was an atom, just an atom. And then we learned that, well, you can actually break this atom open and there's a subatomic particle. You can break open subatomic particles and now you got quarks, and we just discovered we probably have something inside of the quarks. But at the end of that, everything is energy. It's still there, just in a different form. Now watch this. The observer effect is another scientific notion in physics that says the very act of observing or measuring a photon or another particle will change the behavior of the particle. In other words, it goes from a wave, or really a cloud of probability and possibility, into a fixed particle just by human observation. Let me say this again. Human observation, according to the physics theory accepted by most, will change the very nature of the particle being observed. The observer effect. I call it the measurement effect because that's why it is being observed in the first place. So the very act of measurement changes the item being measured. And when you measure a subatomic particle, it leaves the world of infinite possibility to a fixed location. Don't let anyone measure you. Don't let anyone limit you. Because in the moment you allow the opinion of someone else to limit who you are, what you can do, what you can accomplish, you leave the place of potentiality and you fall into the place of a fixed particle. This is the great dilemma about measurement. Isn't it interesting that one of our dynamic spiritual leaders, Yahshua, Jesus Christ, said something very similar? He said, "Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. For the same measure that you use to judge someone, that measure will be used to judge you." In other words, you take them from a place of infinite probability to a place of fixed locality, and you take yourself from a place of unlimited possibility and probability to a place of fixed locality because you decided to measure someone else, and in the process, you measured yourself. This is the world we live in. I'll find a way or make one. So how do we live outside of the matrix of that reality? Very simple. Very simple. Understand the unlimited potential in you, and you will all of a sudden understand the unlimited potential in others. The reason why I'm a better man today than I was 10 years ago is because of my perspective of who I am, which transformed my understanding of who you are. If we want to transform the world, it will begin with the concept of owning our narrative, inner reflection, and being willing to find a way or make one. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my speech. God bless you.
Thank you, President French, Dr. Ritchie. As we come to the close of this beautiful program, I want to thank each of you for joining us today as we continue to celebrate our collective journey. Thank you to our student groups for rendering their talents, the Philharmonic Society. I wish I could sing. They just make me want to, can y'all teach me to sing like that? The CAU band, the CAU cheerleaders who brought us to the podium with energy and excitement and enthusiasm. In addition, I'd like to thank every individual who assisted with the coordination of this amazing program, especially the Ceremonials Committee and its chair, Ms. Galen Joshua, who's over there. Thank you, Ms. Joshua. All of your collective contributions have made this day a true testament to our legacy and our future. You all have heard so many people today, and so I only have a few brief words, I promise. I just want to share a little with you before we conclude. I'd like to end by simply encouraging you all to continue to strive for excellence in the pursuit of your education. And please remember that no matter where you are on your academic journey, you are never alone in this place. You are standing on the shoulders of our institutional ancestors who built this place for you. You are standing in front of professors who are here to give you a world-class education. You are standing among staff members, administrative leaders, and alumni who will, and I borrow this from President French, who will walk through walls to give you opportunities and resources, and I kid you not. And lastly, you are standing shoulder to shoulder with some of the brightest and most dedicated students I have ever had the privilege of serving during my nearly 25 years in higher education. We are all committed to making sure everyone in this place is successful on our collective journey. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Here at Clark Atlanta University, we are going to go far and we are going to go together. Be well, everyone. And I'd like you now to please stand for the singing of the Alma Mater, Reign, Clark Atlanta. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Provost. Before we do that, let me take a moment of personal privilege. Oftentimes, we acknowledge a lot of people from the external world, and we have amongst us genius sometimes that we fail to recognize. And I just want to just take this moment to recognize an alum, a scholar par excellence, an author of unprecedented accomplishment. You know I'm talking about you. I see you looking at me, Dr. Black. I want us to recognize Dr. Daniel Black, author extraordinaire, my man. Come on, give it up for him. Give it up for him. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. My president can take as much privilege as he wants anytime, so I appreciate it. But now I got to get myself back on the mark. So we're going to have a musical selection, Total Praise from the Philharmonic Society, before we conclude. I'm sorry, but one more round of applause for our Hillary Bobcat. Now, would you please let us stand for the singing of the Alma Mater, Rain, Clark, Atlanta, followed by the sending forth from Reverend Dr. Tanya L. Miles, and our recessional song will be our spirit song, It's in My Heart.
Brothers and sisters, we are connected. Your isness is connected to my isness. My isness is connected to our isness. Let us go forward from this place in love, in grace, and in greatness. Be blessed.